On this episode, I answer your questions. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 85 of the Foundation First Fitness Show. Many of you are probably, as we all know, everyone's in quarantine right now. Depending on where you're listening to this from, the regulations are a little bit different. So I'm sure you guys are at home checking out this podcast, probably on YouTube, but it's also on the podcast option as well. So you can get that on Spotify, Apple Music, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, anything like that. It's pretty much going to be everywhere. Before we get into this show, everyone's on quarantine. I want to know, write down in the descriptions, what are you guys doing to keep yourselves in shape? What kind of exercises are you guys doing at your home or outside to stay in shape during this quarantine time period? I'm really interested to see what everyone's doing, because I know a lot of people are starting to be a little bit more creative about the type of home workouts they're doing, and probably also where you're getting all your workout information from. Are you getting it from a site? Are you guys doing yoga classes on YouTube, tons of stuff like that? Really interested in seeing how that's going to be all broken down. Today's episode is going to be really a Q&A stuff. So yesterday I posted a question on my Instagram and Facebook story asking you guys to reach out and tell me what kind of questions you guys had about training, exercise questions at all. I got a couple of that are really pretty similar, so it's really interesting to kind of touch on that. I'm going to answer a couple of these things, and we are going to hopefully be able to get those answers out to you as soon as possible, because I'm trying to punch this out for tomorrow, which is going to be Friday, or today, which is going to be Friday. So hopefully, hey, Friday. I'm assuming the quarantine's still going to be on. I really don't think this thing's going to like snap her fingers and disappear, but hope everyone is still doing well and staying healthy, staying inside and staying away from as many groups of people as you possibly can. Social distancing is super important. I want to reiterate that, because I know a lot of people are kind of getting bored at home, and everyone's getting a little antsy. So if we can just keep calm, I'm sure this will all kind of play itself out, a lot better than we're thinking it will be. Now, getting into the questions. Question one. It was basically a question on, let me get this down here, how to basically lose weight around the waist, stomach area. This is a very common issue amongst a lot of people that are training in the gym. So, a lot of people come to me and I'm known as the athlete, performance guy. So training runners, this, that, the other thing. And at the same time, we kind of usually think that, these athletes don't really deal with these problems, but in reality, a lot of them do. And what ends up happening is when you do carry a lot of weight, or a little bit more weight than you should as an athlete, you become inefficient. So when you are kind of tilting the scale a little bit too heavy, you are going to be putting a lot more burden on your body. So what you want to do is you want to fall into that nice window where you're going to be functioning well in. The other thing is that, some people are just doing it for the aesthetics. They're athletic, they train a lot, they do a lot of running, they do cycling marathons, they play soccer, baseball, softball, whatever tennis. They're just sometimes looking for that aesthetic look. They want to know what they can do for their kind of midsection. This is a really interesting question, because a lot of people get caught in the kind of monotony of trying to do things like crunches, trying to do core exercises, basic core exercises, to really pick up or try to reduce the amount of weight that's in that midsection. Unfortunately, that is not true. That's not how it works. You can't do an exercise and target a specific area. Usually what ends up happening is it comes down to two things. One is genetics. Now, genetically, your body's going to want to put weight on in a specific area versus another. Women are more predisposed to put weight on below the waist and behind the arms. Men are going to put it on in the midsection and upper chest area. So when we consider that, when we take that into consideration, you see that sometimes the questions are generally related to, how do I lose weight below the waist for women? How do I lose weight in the midsection for men? Doesn't always stay the same. Doesn't always mean that that's how it is, but that's generally where generally the two populations will be asked them in different areas. So what I would usually tell you is, number one, you can't do exercises for them. So the other reason that is going to come into play here, which is going to come to my suggestion, is going to be when you are training. When you are kind of trying to lose weight in the midsection, lower body, you want to look at the types of food you're eating. eating has a large effect, has a huge effect, sorry. Eating has a huge effect on the way you are going to be putting on weight. Now, if you're eating healthy, chances are is that your body's not going to be putting on as much weight. If you are struggling with a specific area because you have changed the way you've eaten, you've done some major changes, but you're still struggling with one area, sometimes it's the type of food you're eating. There's a lot of people that are talking about this now. I don't know how much research is in it because I don't usually dive into the research on that stuff because it is very difficult to kind of sift through. There's a lot of information out there. It's kind of, everyone's on the fence about it, going back and forth on it. But I have heard a lot of positive information. I guess some answers on it on certain types of food that we're eating. So one of the ones I've commonly heard is that for behind the arms, wine is a bad one. We'll definitely put it on for women who are struggling with weight behind the arms. Wine is a big time one that if you start drinking too much wine, you'll start noticing a little bit more fatty deposits behind the arm. But again, a lot of them are supposed to be triggering hormonal reactions. So certain foods will cause a hormonal reaction, which will cause you to then put on weight in a specific area. So that's usually what they're talking about. The specifics I don't really know because I don't think it's been scientifically proven. So it's a lot of it's just anecdotal evidence, certain theories, the way certain people have done their conducted their own personal research, have come up with these answers, but I don't think it's been scientifically or in a research study under controlled conditions been specifically set out. Now, for someone who is struggling to lose weight around the midsection, what I would tell you is, number one, you want to make sure that when you are doing that, you are focusing mostly on eating. Exercising won't be the main area. I'm not saying you shouldn't exercise, you should exercise, but it's really going to come down to the things you're eating. Are you having enough, lean meats? Are you having enough healthy fats? Are you eating the proper amount of vegetables throughout the day? These are the things that you're really going to want to focus on because they're allowing your body to function optimally, not overdoing it. And how much are we eating of the probably more questionable types of foods, probably junk food that you shouldn't be eating, things that you shouldn't be indulging in all the time. That's really where you're going to see the biggest difference. A lot of people, a lot of individuals and a lot of my clients that have come and spoken to me about this have always asked me, what do I recommend for people? And honestly, majority of the time I'm telling them, if you're not eating properly right out of the gate, you're going to struggle. So I usually try to give them a lot of recommendations and specific recommendations on what they should be eating, things that are going to help them make better decisions. So if you are struggling with that, the final word is very simply audit the things you're going to be eating and how much of it you're eating. So if you start eating healthier and eating less of those junk foods and maybe bringing down the bringing down the number of calories you're eating in per day, you'll start noticing that difference. Exercising won't make the difference. Unfortunately, it will build the strength, it will build the muscle, it'll help shape and chisel the muscle, but it will not help you lose weight in that specific area. That's unfortunately just not how it works. Second question is, how often should I be working out my arms? And I think this kind of relates back to the same question. I think that's what she was alluding to, talking about how to lose the weight behind the arms or how to chisel or get like sculpting or try to tone up the back of the arms. I would recommend trying to reduce the amount of red wine you drink. That might be one of the areas. That's one of the types of foods or one of the things I've heard. It's one of the most common ones. I don't know if it works. You can try it. So don't take my advice for it. Again, I'm not telling you to consume an ungodly amount of red wine, so it's probably wouldn't kill you, but taking it out of your diet might be a quick way for you to reduce that amount of fat behind the arms. Other things I've heard of are soy, but I don't necessarily believe that to be true. That's one of the ones I've heard. The other one I think I've heard was dairy, milk specifically. So if you have a lot of milk and a lot of dairy in your diet, you may notice extra deposits behind the arms. Again, don't quote me on this. This is not the final word on that. It's just, this is what I've heard. You might want to try it and see if it works for you. Again, you're not removing something from your diet that's like obscenely gonna cause like detriment. I'm not telling you to never eat vegetables again, right? So it's just removing a couple of things for a couple of weeks, seeing if you notice any results. In terms of how often you should be training, if that was the question, could potentially have been just how often should I be training my arms, because you're trying to sculpt your arms. I would tell you honestly, twice a week is more than fine. If you're training arms, specifically arms, again, training them twice a week is already going to be a significant amount because you're probably more advanced And when I talk about training arms, I mean specifically just going to the workout and just doing arms. So basically my Friday workouts, which are basically just arms. But if you go to the gym and just do arms for that one day, oh, I have to do arms today? This is awesome. What a great day. If you are going to the gym just doing arms, doing them twice a week is more than enough. Because you're probably going to be doing it, you're probably going to be training them in your upper body workout as well. So when you're doing your pressing, your pulling, so you're benching, your rows, you're going to be getting those arms involved as well. So you're going to get the bicep and the tricep involved there. So you don't really need to overdo it so much in terms of getting it done multiple times throughout the week. Those 2 times a week is going to be more than enough. You do need rest. I think a lot of individuals, when it comes to building muscle, they forget that you need rest. Rest is where that muscle is going to grow. So removing the amount of rest and taking some time off is not the best thing. It's probably going to be slowing you down more than anything. So make sure you are getting enough rest in. That's where your muscle is going to grow, and that's where you're going to notice the biggest difference. The next question I got was a home workout. A lot of people have been asking me for home workouts. The trickiest thing with home workouts, and I'm going to come out and say it right now, is that to get a really good home gym setup, to get a home workout setup, you either have to be really advanced. What I mean by really advanced is you have to have a lot of experience in the gym, and you have to have like a good movement quality. You have to be extremely strong, carrying your own body weight. And the reason I'm saying that is because the majority of equipment that you're going to be using in your house that is going to keep you at a lower end of the budget is going to be body weight or resistant band work. So unless you've got resistance bands, which you can tie onto something, which I'm going to post. So I'm posting, I've already posted it because this is going to be out Friday, Thursday. So I'm going to have posted that today, my elastic routine. So I'm going to post a lower body elastic routine, upper body elastic routine. These are great ways to get some training in. I will be talking about on Monday. So if you are tuned into my YouTube channel, so if you're watching this, obviously you should have subscribed, hit that subscribe button. If you are listening to this on the podcast, head over to my YouTube channel. First thing, click subscribe. Second thing, on Monday, that will be Monday let me take a quick peek at this and see what the date is specifically. I think it's the 5th. Is it the 6th? 6th, yeah. Monday the 6th. Of April, I will be posting what I would recommend for you to purchase in a home gym to keep the budget without breaking the budget, and it's going to allow you to really be able to kind of get a lot of cool exercises in. But again, if you are not super advanced in the weight room, going with basically nothing and using body weight becomes a little bit more challenging. It does require a certain level of skill because you don't get to make up the difference by selecting a lower weight than your body weight. You can't press with less weight. It becomes a little bit more challenging. It also becomes a little bit more boring. You have to get a little bit more creative. So the creativity is going to come from sets, reps, the time under tension. So how long you're going to be pausing, putting things in circuits, getting creative with the things around your house. So your creativity level has got to be high. The reason why I haven't really posted all that much in terms of home workouts is because I don't want to put something out that's going to be really shoddy. We are currently working on setting something up for our community page, which is going to take some time because now with everything being on hold, for me to get an actual mic that's going to be able to clip onto my shirt, it's going to take a little bit more time than I've wanted it to. So first I have to get the mic, record it, render it, put it online, organize it all and get it out. Hopefully, I think somewhere in the mid-May we'll start putting out my entire kind of workout routines, putting out some really cool stuff on my webpage, on my community section for you guys to sign up for and really get access to, which is going to be free basically until this lockout is over. I'm going to post it for free. Then we'll be wheeling out the paid version of it. So we'll be putting everything on a paid subscription based, which is not going to be much. We haven't really discussed the price. It's supposed to be very, very, very cheap. But yeah, it's going to have everything in there that you're going to need. So depending on types of equipment you're going to have, the home workout stuff is all going to be there. It's going to be really well structured, good stuff for you guys to do. Really, really excited in getting that done, which is why I've been kind of cranking up my workouts so I can actually handle punching out I think 5 or 6 video clips a day without being completely burnt out and not being able to handle the amount of volume that I'm going to be putting myself under. So unless you have that amount of money in that space where you can go out and get something like a full squat rack, the dumbbells, and all those things, home workouts are really, really tricky, because the creativity and your expertise level has to be there. The other thing is, the other catch-22 is the more expertise you have, the easier it's going to be to perform these exercises. So it's not going to be as effective as really getting that kind of home workout in. But again, I think this is going to be a great time for a lot of individuals who have never really done the home thing to be forced to do it and really maybe acclimatize themselves to a kind of a routine that they can do at home, so that maybe when this thing comes out, people that are struggling with time, that can't necessarily make it to a gym all the time, will be able to perform these workouts at home, which is going to be amazing, because that's really what we want to do. We want to get people being more active, which is what I'm trying to do with this community page, is really try to crank up the amount of almost athletic based and movement quality based workouts. The goal with what I'm trying to do here and what we're trying to do here at Open Performance is really just try to show people that you don't need the full-fledged, you don't need all the machines in the gym. You don't have to go into that with that bodybuilding mentality workout to stay in shape. You don't have to go with the high-intensity workout to get in shape. If you can focus on being more of an athlete, so really trying to improve your movement quality, your results will come significantly faster. You'll be much more likely to enjoy the gym experience. You're probably not going to be running into injuries. So what we're really trying to do is show you that if we're trying to basically bring you through to being healthy using an athletic mindset. That's really what it comes down to. So in terms of the home workouts, it's really going to be based on getting that kind of athletic mindset going, getting you to understand movements. We're going to have an entire section on how to build and how to progressively grow as an athlete and how to kind of develop yourself and develop movement quality. So basically the 101s of how to move well. Really interesting stuff, because it's really going to be everything that's up in my brain right now that I'm going to be pouring into. All this 10 plus years with my sister is going to be helping me in on it. And one of my buddies in Toronto, the head strength coach with the Toronto Maple Leafs, is also going to be pitching in and kind of, giving some insight on some stuff too. So it's going to be really interesting for us to really get that all down, get that all out on there. So it's going to be some unbelievable content, unbelievable stuff. Really excited for that. Again, what are you guys doing for your home workouts during this quarantine time period? Put it in the bottom. Oh, I also did get a question on how much I bench. During this quarantine time period, we're not allowed to be testing. It's not safe to have someone in here. It's not safe to test someone's bench without having help there. So, sorry, John, you're going to have to wait till this quarantine time period's done, which is going to give me enough time to work on my bench press and get it over 2 plates again. Anyway, stay healthy, stay safe, stay inside. And until that next time, guys, keep building that foundation. Take care. Oh, leave your questions at the bottom. Leave me a comment in the bottom letting me know what you guys are doing for home workouts. Don't forget to subscribe. Take care.